Hello there, guys, gals, and non-binary pills. My name is Ruby, and today we're going through Case 3, Day 2, The Trial. So before we get into it, if you like this video, give it a like. Dislike this video, give it a like anyway. And let's get right into it. October 18th, 10 a.m. District Court, Courtroom Number 4.
Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers, yes.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Very well, Mr. Edwards. Your opening statement, please.
The prosecution will show the court that at 2:30 p.m. on October 15th, the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, killed fellow actor Jack Hammer in Studio 1 of Bluebell Studios. It is impossible for anyone else to have committed this heinous crime. The evidence presented during the trial will all point to this fact.
I see. Very well. I would like to move on to some testimony. Mr. Edwards, the prosecution may call its first witness.
Very well. I call the most familiar face, Detective Gumshoe, to the stand. Detective, if you would briefly describe this case to the court.
Yes, sir. I'll explain with the guide map here. To understand this case, it's important to grasp the layout of the studio, see? This here is the employee area. The actors did a run-through of their action scenes during the morning here. This is the main gate to the studios. The security lady that works at the studios was here at 1 p.m. on that day. Past the security station, there's a gate, see? And past that are the studios. And here it is, Studio 1. This is the scene of the murder, where the body was found. Now, on the day of the murder, October 15th, there were only 3 people here. The victim, Jack Hammer, the defendant, Will Powers, and a young woman, the production assistant. All the production staff were in the employee area until noon. Then after lunch, the victim, Jack Hammer, went to Studio 1. Right after that, at 1 p.m., the security lady got to the guard station. Now, jump ahead to later that day, 5 p.m. The production staff came to Studio 1 to perform a rehearsal. Needless to say, the rehearsal was canceled. The time of death was 2:30 p.m. The samurai spear found lodged in the victim's chest was the murder weapon. That's the case in brief. Anyone like to hear that again?
Should I listen to that whole thing again? I don't think so. I think I can probably remember that.
So the murder weapon was a spear? How medieval.
Samurai spear added to the court record. Yay.
Your Honor, this case is quite simple if you ask one question, and that question is, what did the security lady at the guard station see?
Understood.
Let's call the security officer to the stand. Yes.
Hi, security lady.
Will the witness declare her name?
My, aren't you a handsome fellow? I'm afraid I'm a bit flustered.
Gilf! Yeah. Your name, please.
Oh, dearie, no need for you to be embarrassed. Just call me Grandma.
Your name, please!
Seems Edwards has a bit of trouble getting his witness to say their names.
Wendy Oldbag, dearie. So just call me Grandma. So when I was young, was Oldbag. Still, how the other children would make fun of me, believe it? But there was the boy, the captain of the chest. He called me an old hag as well. I just cried and cried because...
Objection! I object to the witness's talkativeness.
Objective sustained. The witness will refrain from rambling on the stand.
I was just getting to the good part, dearie.
Perhaps we can get it to the testimony.
Now, the witness was stationed at the main gate of the murder, correct?
Yeah, see, he was.
And to get to the scene of the murder, someone would have to pass by you.
You know your stuff, dearie.
You may begin your testimony.
She sure is one hell of an old bag. Witness's account.
On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 p.m. Poor old Hammer and the rest had been doing a run-through of their... Poor old Hammer and the rest had been doing a run-through there since the morning. Poor old Hammer and the rest had been doing a run-through there since the morning. I had some errands to run in that morning. Anyway, it was 1 o'clock when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from then until 5. Now, the murder happened at 2:30 p.m., right? Interesting to me because a certain man walked by. Interesting to me because a certain man walked right by me at 2 p.m. It was Powers, that man right there, and he was headed towards the studio.
Oh, yeah?
You saw the defendant then? Very well. Let's begin the cross-examination. Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor. What errands did you have to run? What kind of errands?
Oh, well, you know.
Answer the question.
Actually, I was watching poor Hammer and Powers, observing, you know.
Observing? Were you supposed to be at the guard station?
Whippersnapper, I told you I locked the gate, didn't I? I did my job.
Not sure your boss would see it that way.
Anyway, I always watch Hammer's run-throughs, always. Never missed one in all my years.
Wow, I want to see a Steel Samurai run through too.
You could quit being a spirit medium and take up guard duty.
Not a bad idea.
2 o'clock? You're sure?
Sure as spit.
Well, who's the man?
Really, you should try not to get so excited at your age. You might strain something.
Oh.
Now, don't get your skivvies all in a bunch. I'll tell you who it was.
So you saw Mr. Powers?
That's what I said. Go wax your ears, Sonny.
Nick, this is your chance.
Yeah, time to pull out the secret weapon.
I'll say it again. It was him.
It was Powers? But I have this photo. Let me get this straight, old bag. Miss Old Bag. You've been saying this since yesterday that you saw Mr. Powers, correct? Well, you're talking about the man in this photo, aren't you?
Just a moment, Mr. Wright. Let me see that photo. What is this exactly?
None other than the Steel Samurai, defender of Neo Old Tokyo. Miss Old Bag. Is this the Mr. Powers that you saw?
Of course. Didn't your mama teach you any sense, Sonny? Anyone can plainly see that Powers, right?
No, they can't! Well, I mean, I wonder.
True, Mr. Powers does play the role of the Steel Samurai. But that doesn't mean Mr. Powers is the Steel Samurai.
How did I know that? I wasn't born yesterday.
Yeah, I know that.
No one in this court is accusing you of that, Mr. Witness.
He's having trouble calling her old bag, apparently.
However, you do not have proof that the person in this photo is Mr. Will Powers, do you?
It was the old man. Of course I have proof.
What? Huh? Even Edgeworth is surprised.
The prosecution would like to ask the witness. Please make a note of all the information in your possession ahead of time.
How was I to know everyone would be so nosy? You should be ashamed, all of you. Anyway, I showed that photo to the young detective. He told me this isn't good evidence, pal. He didn't even give it a second look.
Wow, old Windbag has left even Edward speechless. She's good.
Well, let's hear about your proof, then.
Alright, tell me about the man in the photo.
I never say anything I don't mean, mind you. That morning, during the run-through of the action scene, I saw Powers trip and fall. He broke one of the props. It was a big mess. Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Now look at that picture. You can see he's dragging his leg. See? Clear as day. That's how I knew it was Powers. Happy?
So he had sprained his ankle? Very well. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
She's gotta be hiding something. I'll press her until she squeals. Time to cross-examine this old bag. Trip and fall?
Yes, and to think he's supposed to be the Steel Samurai. What a laugh. So Powers sprained his ankle. I helped make it better for him, of course.
You helped make it better?
I kissed it where it hurt.
Let's just skip over that part, shall we?
Where was the assistant then?
Oh, her? She was cleaning up backdrops, I think. She didn't know about Power's ankle.
You may continue your testimony.
What props did he break? He broke a prop?
Sure did. His own samurai spear.
His samurai spear? The murder weapon?
Luckily, I was there with duct tape to fix it.
This strikes me as significant detail. I'd better write this down in the court record.
Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty bad.
Was Mr. Power's ankle badly sprained?
Not so bad that he couldn't walk around. He went to his dressing room to rest up after lunch.
Thus the nap.
Anyway, I saw him dragging his foot when he walked.
Dragging his foot. Okay.
I think we've heard enough, haven't we, Your Honor?
Well, there's one thing that bothers me.
Which is?
Where is his still samurai costume now?
Actually, well, we couldn't find it. We're looking, though. Anyway, that's not important. The witness did see the still samurai, yes. And it is clear that the person in the steel samurai suit was Mr. Will Powers.
I suppose that's right.
Are you sure you're sure, Your Honor? I object. Hold it right there. We keep talking possibilities, but we have to agree that this photo shows the steel samurai. Nowhere in this photo can we see Mr. Will Powers.
The defense has a point. I also wonder if someone else not caught on camera could have killed Mr. Hammer. We have to consider that possibility also, yes.
Allow me to remove that doubt from your mind, Your Honor. Will the witness continue her testimony, please?
No need to ask twice.
The count continued.
Time before Hammer's death was 2:30, true? The only person I saw in the studio before that was Will Powers. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them.
So, if no one else went to the studio, then it would have to be the still samurai who did it. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Alright, let's cross-examine this hoe. Are you sure about that? What about before you got to the guard station?
You mean before 1? Why, everyone was in the employee area before then. And I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Not to mention...
Are you sure?
The witness has answered the question. Anyone going into the studio had to pass by the witness.
That's right, Sonny. You let him have it, edgy boy.
Edgy boy?
Old Wingbag sure has balls. Well, you know what I mean.
Well, windbags have a way of skipping over important details after all. For them, or for that matter, entirely forgetting them.
How convenient.
Something for you to look forward to, perhaps? How do you know that?
Hey, didn't I just explain? I gave donuts to the young detective, and then, after some rubbish about being a secret failed, he told me everything.
I see Detective Gumshoe shares his fellow officer's fondness for donuts. Hold on. Look at this photograph one more time. This photo was taken by the camera at the gate of the studios, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Sonny.
So whenever someone passes by here, it automatically takes a picture.
And here I thought you didn't know your head from a hole in the ground.
Right. Anyway, it's also true that the computer in the guard station records all security cam data.
Oh, you know, if you wanted to work at the studio, we might have an opening.
That very computer printed out this photo. Note that on the back of the photo are the words printed October 15th, 2 p.m., photo number 2.
Even I know that means it was taken at 2 p.m. on October the 15th. Really, Sonny?
Actually, I knew that too. The issue here is the bit at the end where it says photo number 2.
Photo number 2?
The computer only held data for one photo on that day. Don't you think that's odd? Shouldn't this photo be photo number 1 if it really was the only photo?
Oh, yeah, yes, that makes sense. Order. Please tell the court what you mean by this, Mr. Wright.
Actually, that's what I want to ask the witness. This evidence shows that not 1 but 2 people went to the studio that day. If there's only data for one of the photos, who could have erased the data for the other photo? Only someone with access, the security lady herself.
Me, you watch your out, whippersnapper. The only person I saw that day was Real Powers.
But the camera on the gate fired twice. That means 2 people went by.
Well, yes, that's what it would seem to mean.
Can the witness explain this to the court?
I don't understand these newfangled computer things. Edgy boy, help.
Huh? Believe me, I want to, but I don't know what this means either.
Some help you are. You're a whippersnapper too. Whippersnapper?
Something the matter, Miss Oldbag?
That's right. I just remembered something.
Let me guess. Someone else passed by the gate. Someone other than the Steel Samurai?
Well, yes, I suppose you could put it that way.
I see. Your testimony, please.
This lady just likes lying, bro. The other person.
Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the security computer and check them. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see. Come to think about it, now I remember throwing out one photo that day.
Why'd you throw it out?
Miss Oldbag, this is the first I've heard of this.
Well, of course, Sonny. I've only just remembered it.
Right. Anyway, Miss Wright, please begin your cross-examination.
Well, I'd say this was a turn for the unexpected, but I kind of expected this.
Other person. Well, who in the heck was in that photo you erased?
A fanboy.
Fanboy? And Chum Chum?
Steel Samurai fanboys. Real freaks, if you ask me. They get information about the rehearsals from gosh knows where. They're always hanging about. One was there that day.
Wait a second. Didn't you just say no one else could get in? I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Those were your words.
Well, if you must know, there's a drain that goes to the employee area. The grate has been used for a while. It leads outside, and well, that's where they came in.
They came in through the drain?
I told you they were freaks. Oh, and they're kids, children, whippersnappers.
Kids? So, on the photo that you erased,
it was a boy, probably 2nd or 3rd grade.
What?
Order, Rance. Let me get this straight. You saw 2 people pass by the gate on their way to the studio that day. One was the Steel Samurai dragging his leg. The other was a boy who looked to be in about 2nd or 3rd grade.
Yes. Well, we see his type every day. Can't stop him, can't catch him.
A boy in 2nd or 3rd grade. I assume it would be hard, if not impossible, for a young boy to wield the samurai spear.
Impossible, I think. It's quite heavy.
Right. As I said, I didn't pay him much mind. That's why I erased the data.
Nick, what's going on? I mean, the boy was there, that makes him a suspect.
Yeah, and they're already trying to unsuspect him.
This court will now take a 5-minute recess. I want the defense and the prosecution to consider this new information. And no forgetting vital information this time. Woof.
October 18th, 11:08 a.m. District Court, Defense Lobby, number 3. Mr. Powers?
Yes?
Tell me straight. Were you really in your dressing room? You didn't go to the studio?
I didn't go to the studio. I was sleeping, honest.
So who was the Steel Samurai in that security photo?
How should I know? The Steel Samurai costume was off in the corner of the dressing room. Anyone could have walked in and taken it, really.
What? You should have taken better care of that stuff.
I couldn't imagine anyone would want to steal a silk samurai costume. So, where does this leave me?
Doesn't look good.
Whew.
You're the only likely suspect right now.
Nick, what are we going to do?
First, we play for more time. We'll start targeting someone else that could have conceivably done this.
Right. And it'll take them so long to shoot us down that we can get another day.
Right. But if we pick the wrong person, we might lose on the spot.
You don't sound very optimistic.
I'm not optimistic at all, actually.
Hey Nick, it's time.
Okay, let's go.
What does that mean? Please don't sigh like that. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Mr. Edgeworth, will you present the prosecution's thoughts on this matter?
The prosecution's thoughts are simple. Nothing has changed. The other person who went to the studios was a boy of roughly 10 years of age. The photo we do have may not be hard evidence, but there's still no one else that could have committed that crime. I call it a verdict of guilty for the defendant, Mr. Will Powers.
Very well. Mr. Wright, your thoughts?
The defense disagrees with the prosecution's claim. There is another person who could have committed this crime.
Who does it mean? Who does it mean?
Order? Interesting. Let us hear who you have in mind. However, be aware this court does not look kindly on accusing the innocent. If you accuse someone who is obviously innocent, you will be penalized.
Right, great. So the stakes weren't high enough.
So, who is this person that Mr. Powers there could have committed the murder?
The security lady. It was the security lady, Wendy Oldbag.
Who?
The Steel Samurai is dragging his leg in the picture. That means whoever was in the suit knew about that morning's injury. Maybe because they had been watching the action scene run through. There was only one person other than Powers and Hammer who knew about the injury. The security lady, Oldbag.
What? Whippersnapper.
Order. Yes, sir. Is this true, Oldbag?
Oldbag? That's Miss Oldbag to you.
Miss Oldbag was standing guard alone at the main gate. She was by herself. In other words, she has no alibi. She could have briefly left her post to steal the Steel Samurai costume. Then slipped in the Studio 1, the scene of the murder.
Why would she go through the trouble of wearing the Steel Samurai costume?
Simple, Your Honor. She knew the camera at the gate would take her picture. If she was in his costume, she could point the finger at Mr. Powers.
I see. Excellent deductive reasoning, Mr. Wright.
Oh yeah, right here, Sherlock Holmes 2, baby! That's odd. Isn't this the part where Edgeworth pounces? Doesn't he usually jump up with an objection or some new dabbing evidence?
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution have an opinion on this matter?
The prosecution has no meaningful objections at this time.
What? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, so you all think I did it, is that it? Edgy boy, don't you just sit there, do something!
What's my move? Maybe I'll be the chance to take this whole thing away. Press Granny. The very same reasoning that makes Mr. Powers a suspect in this case can be used to cast doubt on Miss Oldbag's actions on that day.
But why would I do something so horrible to poor Hammer?
You forget that Mr. Powers lacks a clear motive too.
Indeed.
That did it. Now Windbag is one of the suspects. No hard feelings, I hope.
Wait just a minute. What about the other person who went to the studio? The boy, the one whose photo I erased.
He's only a grade schooler, though, you said. Second or third grade, was it?
That doesn't matter. When I was that age, I could pin my old man in 10 seconds tops.
Your thoughts, Mr. Wright?
That boy's not the killer.
What? How can you be so sure? Oh, or is it to be nice to the kids and mean to your elders' day? Whippersnapper?
I have proof.
Proof?
Indeed. Let's see your proof, Mr. Wright. You have proof that shows the boy could not have committed the murder.
Scene of the murder, as we all know, was Studio 1. However, you need a card key to enter Studio 1. How could a boy with no formal relation to the studios have a card key?
I see. Well, will the witness care to comment on this?
The windbag, speechless. This has got to be a first.
Very well. This court will suspend proceedings on the current trial for today. Mr. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness, Miss Wendy. What was her name?
Something old bag, Your Honor.
The prosecution will look further into this old bag before we continue. That is all. This court is adjourned.
Wait a second. I'm not going just to see where you run off barking up the wrong tree. Me? I'm talking.
Oh, great. Stop the presses. The windbag wants to talk.
Miss Oldbag, what is this all about? Have you omitted something from your testimony?
Actually, if you must know, there's something I was told not to talk about.
Not to talk about?
By whom?
Huh? You mean it wasn't Edwards who told her not to talk?
Well, testify.
My lips were sealed.
Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet about something. There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder. They said they had nothing to do with it, see? So they told me to just pretend they hadn't been at the studio that day. But if you're going to accusing me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free.
Miss Oldbag, this is crucial information. Why'd you keep this from the court until now?
Ain't you been listening? They told me to shut my trap, and I always do what I'm told.
No, this isn't a bad dream, Your Honor. Witness the power of the old bag.
Mr. Wright, your cross-examination.
Who were they? Who were these people?
Well, the director and the producer, for starters.
The director?
We should have known something was fishy. How could they have done a run-through of their action scene without a director? Of course.
Yes, well, I was surprised no one asked about it.
So, where were these people?
The director was in the employee area all morning for the run-through. He joined the producer around lunchtime, and they had a meeting after that.
Where?
Oh, in the Studio 2 trailer.
Studio 2? There was a Studio 2?
Well, if you look at the guide map, here it is. You go through the gate and all the way to the left.
The path where the monkey's head had fallen over.
Well, Mr. Wright, would you like to continue the cross-examination?
Let's take a break. Your Honor, we've learned there were other people at Global Studios on the day in question. The director and the producer and, some bigwigs were all present. Yet, as we stand here, they have not been questioned. I hold that it is impossible to declare a verdict on the defendant, Will Powers.
The court acknowledges the defense's point. Prosecution will gather more information about the witness Old Bag, and more information about these other people we've just been told of.
I understand, Your Honor.
This ends the day's proceedings in the trial of Mr. Will Powers. That is all. This court is adjourned.
October 18th, 1:04 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 3.
Look, thank you so much, Mr. Wright. I was right to ask you to defend me.
Aw, really? It's nothing. Oh, or should I?
We'll be going down to the studios to do some more investigating. We have to find out more about this director and producer. They'll be turning up the next trial as witnesses for certain. So now's my chance to get material for the cross-examination.
So, Nick, have we figured out just who was in that Steel Samurai costume? Could it really have been Old Windbag?
What do you think, Mr. Powers?
I don't think it was her, really.
Neither do I, Nick.
Yeah, I know. Look, I was just buying time back there. Someone had to be the bad guy for the bit to take the pressure off of Mr. Will Powers.
Poor Old Windbag. I feel kind of sorry for her.
Well, she wasn't winning any points in there, with or without my accusation. Okay, let's get down to the studios.
Right. We'll be back to visit you soon.
Thanks, guys.
And we will investigate the studio next time, so hope you have a great day, know you're beautiful, hope you enjoyed. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked the video, give it a like. Just like the video, give it a like. Anyway, consider subscribing, leave a comment. I love you very much, and I'll see you again soon.
Good job.